NFR.
NFR Extra is a podcast dedicated to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo and features icons and personalities that embody the Western lifestyle.
We know that when we play every night, there's 17 or 18 songs that are the must plays.
Right.
Your Cast No Stones, your Hippies, your Davids, your Loud and Heavies. We know those 17 or 18 songs, and then we know, and we play a full 2 hour, man. We don't jack around. We don't take excessively long, encore or anything. We play. We're not playing to tracks, and if my voice fucks up, my voice fucks up. If it cracks because I'm singing my ass off. If somebody wanks a chord, it's because they're playing their ass off. If Dave misses something on the drums, it's because he's playing his ass off. It's real, it's live, it's loud, it's fun.
Hey everybody, this is Steve Godert, and you're listening to the NFR Extra. This is one that I'm pretty stoked about, Brylan, to be honest with you, because Cody Jinks, I found Cody, my wife and I did right around pandemic time. And we dove deep into the YouTube videos of Cody Jinks and a lot of albums since then. Mama's Song was a big favorite one, Fast Hand. I can go down the list of all the Somewhere in the Middle. But man, your style of outlaw country is right up a lot of people's alley, man, with that, the Western way of life. And it was kind of a hole to where I think that with a lot of us that like that old outlaw country and kind of the red dirt, is you came in with a style that is totally all of your own. And I like it because when I say punk rock, that kind of goes back to your history of where you started at, man. Tell me a little bit about where Cody Jinks came from.
Yeah, I was doing an interview the other day, and that we kind of were talking about that same thing. Our band has really developed into just what we're a product of what we, obviously it's my name. It's I write the songs or co-write the songs or whatever. But our sound has developed into what I had to develop into and what all the guys in the band have pulled from. We are such a mutt. We're just an American band. We're a rock and roll band. We're a country band. We don't really even know what we are. And I joke around and tell people we're a rock and roll band with a steel guitar. We're just American music. We try to do stuff that's fun first. You're going to see us, you're going to see a rock and roll show with cool lights and fun stuff going on. And we're running around up there, but we slow it back and we just play country songs. And that really came from me being a honky tonker. And that's, when I was in my early 20s, honky tonks and roadhouses and, just all the little places that we played, the little dive bars, all the whatever, man. All those little places we were on the road just cutting our teeth, that all had a lot to do with how we played. If we were at a biker bar, we knew we had to, we knew where we were at. We knew where, if we were at a blues bar, if we were at a rock and roll club, if we were at a country club, if we were at a Western club, which is more country than country,
Right.
Like we were such a, we can play with George Strait and we can play with Metallica. It's a strange thing we've become. And a lot of that has to do with my background. And really the backgrounds of all the guys in the band. These were all DIYers. A lot of them had been with me for a long time, but these were all guys and that did it the old way, the get in the van and go way. That's that's just what we did. We're a product of that kind of that punk mentality I've always had of just do it yourself. And if the music stands, then it's meant to be.
Yeah. What, so like that whole background deal of going and getting in the van and going down the road, like, is that where, as far as the songwriting stuff, do you get a lot of, I hate to use the word and sound cliche, inspiration on that, but like, are you more creative on the road, or is it like getting off the road and decompressing somewhere that stuff kind of catches up with you and you're like, dude, we got something here?
Off the road. I write way more off the road. I do write some on the road, but way more off the road. Sit down and put my thoughts together. And the way I write is, I don't know if it's unique to me. I don't just sit down and write every day. If I have an idea and it's still good the next day, and then it's still good the day after that, and then that idea starts spawning other ideas, they kind of start collecting themselves. And then once I feel like I have an idea that's, I guess, good enough that it's stuck with me. It's kind of like the Mitch Hedberg joke, when I'm in my hotel room at night and I think of a good joke when I'm laying in bed, but the pen and paper across the room. I try to convince myself the joke wasn't that funny.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's hilarious, so it's like, I kind of was like, if I can remember the damn song or the idea for 3 or 4 days after I get home, after something sticks out in my mind, then it's time to sit down and see if I can get this thing done.
Right. So do you co-write? Do you got kind of guys that you co-write with on a regular basis, or is it something to where you're kind of the tip of the spear and then bounce it off guys?
Yeah, both. But they're usually the same people. They're usually the same people. Like if I'm stuck and need help finishing a song, I call the same people as when we just sit down and write together.
Right.
Brand new, fresh idea. The guys that I write with the most, Tennessee Jet, Josh Morningstar, Ward Davis, Kendall Marvel, written a lot with Channing Wilson. We're going to release some stuff. Wrote with him. Adam Hood, Brent Cobb, about to drop one that wrote with him and Adam. But Morningstar, Jet, Davis, Marvel, those guys I write with the most, I would say.
Yeah, kind of getting the deal. So I haven't, like I said, most of the stuff that I've heard of yours is what is more the popular stuff. But back in, I think like early 2000s, you were punk rock or metal or something along those lines. Where did you find, like, when was the trade on that to where like, man, this is the country thing is a little bit more, or honky tonk is a little bit more down the road I want to go down?
It was I don't know. It wasn't weird. It was never something that, I don't know. Country was my first love. So, it could be a full circle. You always come back to your first love type scenario.
Right.
I don't know if I have a country heart and a heavy metal soul or vice versa. And I say that all the time, but for me, country is one, and metal or punk and all that together is 1A. It's not 1 and 2. It's 1 and 1A, really.
Right.
And they've been such a big part of my life. But, the first song I learned how to play on guitar was Lefty Frizzell's Long Black Veil. That's as country as it gets. But soon thereafter, I got into metal. I did metal till I was 23, and when I was 22, rather. And then that band broke up when we were out in California. And I thought that was going to be like the forever band. I thought that was going to be the band I was in for, me and those guys since we were teenagers. And, things don't always go that way. And so I came home and started, got my old job back waiting tables at Bennigan's, and I met this, we had a bartender there named Joe at the Bennigan's in North Fort Worth, where I worked. We had a bartender named Joe. Joe's wife, Nikki, was a manager at the White Elephant Saloon in Fort Worth in the Stockyards.
I've been kicked out of there a few times. Yeah, that's a good spot.
I've been kicked out of there. I got asked to stop playing there one night. got some funny stories about that place. But regardless, I started as a doorman there, and ended up working my way to the bar, and then started playing open mics. Brad Hines hosted an open mic. Bless Brad. We just lost him this year, but or a year or two ago, and started doing. Brett Watts had a Songwriters in the Round thing down there, and he just hung that up after 25 years. I got to visit with him the other day. But I got my start doing that. I didn't even know if I could sing country at that point. That was kind of a I don't know, dude. It was a weird time in my life because I'd just gotten out of a metal band. My voice was healing. I sounded like a bullfrog for years of trying to sound like a cross between James Hetfield and Phil Anselmo. And I didn't even know what I sounded like. In my first few recordings, country recordings, like I don't even put them out anymore. It's like because you can tell, like on those recordings, you're like, yeah, that young man needs to figure out who he needs to be singing like.
Right.
Yes, So before I found my voice, which was, dude, it's a mix. I have a grab bag from vocals. Like I did this on this song because Pepper Keenan from COC did this. I did this on this song because that's what Randy Travis would have done. I did this. I still do the same stuff, but I sing like me. And it took me till I was really about 30 to figure out who the hell I was and how the hell what I was. And because I was playing the honky tonk bars when I was 24, putting a band together. And dude, we were doing everything. It was one of those things we had to know everything. So, just a product of American music. And we ended up being whatever you're hearing now, man. It's just, here we are.
Well, it's crazy now too, because there's so much music of all kinds available at your phone. You know what I mean? Like my kids are all pretty little and they'll go through my phone and go through Pandora or whatever and go scroll. But like when I was growing up, it was like, what style of music do you like? Because a CD cost $20 and it was, and if you wouldn't really you'd go through the whole album and listen to the whole entire album. And now it's like you can really pick and choose. Like, oh, I like this, but I like that. So people can really like those different genres, which it sounds like that's where, like you said, the Mutt Band coming together to where, dude, it is pretty cool to have, some rock and roll in there and some country, some classic country. And then that honky tonk, I mean, it is weird because like honky tonk really is, when you say like honky tonk band, like, man, that's a honky tonk band. And that is really where like the commingling of just America of what, of what it all is, of all those different styles and everything coming together. And you have, like you've got a very unique voice. Like you can hear something like there's Cody Jinks, so like whatever that deal of when you found yourself, I mean, I think it's paid dividends because it's freaking badass, but it's just that blend of everything coming together that nowadays, you can like different genres, but there's still stuff to where I'm like, man, like classic stuff. That ain't never getting old. Like, I mean, go back to Leonard Skinner. It's like Leonard Skinner was a very unique band, to themselves and still kick ass, 40 years down the road. And it's, I don't know, man, it's awesome to see that sort of creativity that comes together towards like, dude, we can't do that because we're, you're not pigeonholing yourself of like, we're just a metal band or we're a country band or we're a whatever band. Like honky tonk, I think allows a lot more of just like, dude, we're a honky tonk band.
Yeah. When Skinner said, I love drinking the best of whiskey and singing at a honky tonk bar, yeah, but just I'm a honky tonker through and through. I'm a honky tonk metalhead, really. I guess if you want to break it down, but the history of the honky tonks is just so cool because it is a piece of American music. You had the birth of really what is modern country music came from Appalachia back in the days, and then you got all these. You had the black folk would have their tonks, and then you had the honky tonks, and then you had. Listen, man, you had artists back then that didn't give a shit what color they were. Like we were trading licks, man.
Right.
Like it's still that same way,
right.
Like, that's cool. What are you doing? Show me again what you're doing there.
Yeah.
So then, we're starting to incorporate, some elements of black music from the Tonks back in the day, dude. You know, like look at Elvis Presley.
Oh yeah.
You know, look. Enough said. You know, look at Chuck Berry. You know, what do you? You know, it's I don't know, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So the term you say honky tonks in some part of the country, and that they're like, you know, what is what?
Yeah.
You know, it's like because it's not it's a honky. It's not a bad thing, man. That's
Right.
you know, it's like. But I grew up saying honky tonk because, like, I was a big Gary Stewart fan growing up because my mom and dad were big Gary Stewart fans, and dude, that's king of the honky tonks,
Right?
And that was, dude. You listen to that, man. Some of that guy's stuff that was dirty, dude. That was dirty.
Yeah,
gritty.
Yeah. And that's, I don't know, man. Do you feel like do you feel any limitations to where, like nowadays where everybody's kind of so sensitive to where like there's, man, like you said, dude, you like can't say that, you know, is that kind of even in your subconscious of like, I got to be careful here? Or is it just, dude, just lay it all out and it is what it is?
No, because people that want to be offended get offended. You know, people that have hateful hearts, it shows. People that don't have hateful hearts, that shows just as, you know, it's all, you know, what being around somebody lets you know, the content of somebody's character. And that's something that as an artist, I've always embraced that because that's what makes art so cool. But that's what makes the human condition so cool is that I want to learn from you. I want to learn why you did that or how you did that or how, you know, through evolution, you know, some people are hairier than others through evolution and where they're from, you know, listen, man, I think that whenever it says in the Bible that God made man in his own image, you know, listen, the chances are likely that the first person on the earth was not a white dude.
Right. Right.
I mean, so, hey man, we're all here together. Y'all make cool sounds. We make cool sounds. Let's get together and jam because the notes you're playing are the same notes I'm playing.
Yeah.
Can you hit this? Okay, I'm gonna go, and then it's gonna be badass.
Yeah. That content of character, that's something that I think is still probably one of the best deals. Is like, dude, content to character means a lot more than anything else that you can say or do because, you know, show it and live it. But, and the music is, I mean, the cool thing about music too, is it's open to interpretation, you know, like this song means a lot to me because this, and somebody else can hear the same song and like, man, it means this to me because I feel that, you know? So it's like, really, it is kind of one of the ties that bind, and good music always kind of is that thing to where, like the music fest and everything, is you go and you listen to these, you know, multiple different bands playing multiple different stuff, and everybody's just like, dude, we're all just here, you know, enjoying the same thing. So I don't know, man. It's pretty impressive what music can do to the human soul.
100%. It's a great thing about festivals, man. We played on some bills with some, like, man, how we get booked with these guys, I don't know, but it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's take a quick pause, and we'll be right back. Do you need a dose of social? A dash of insider info? Then the National Finals Rodeo's social network is set up just for you. Get updates, insights, unique content, and much more on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find us at /Las Vegas NFR. Be sure to use hashtag Wrangler NFR on your posts and tweets. There's something for all rodeo fans. The biggest stage, the brightest lights, the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo.
Speaking of getting booked, what is it like operating under your own label? That is a really shocking thing to read, I think, with a lot of artists in general, but your own label. Tell us a little bit what went into that.
What goes into that and what created that, or the fact that I'm not going to go with convention and I listen to those around me that I trust, that have earned my trust. But I have a really hard time with labels. Used to be run by people that at least were musicians or knew how music worked. Labels aren't run by those people anymore. And they haven't been for quite some time. So my whole thing is, why am I gonna let somebody that doesn't know anything about what I do dictate my art? That would be like me getting into, I don't know, name it, computer programming. I was having a hard time getting
turning your video on.
The video on my phone. I still can't see you guys. I'm looking at myself, but you guys can see me and hear me. So I didn't touch anything. That would be like me getting a programming job for Apple and walking in and going, all right, guys, check this out. This is how we're going to start running stuff now. You over there, are you making the buttons? Okay. I want you to go over. Come on, dude.
It just doesn't work.
Those guys are running major record labels. So I started my own, so I didn't have to deal with that stuff. Where it's hard for me now, because it's great for so many good reasons, also has its downfalls. Where the major market radio stations are record labels are controlling, DSP numbers, digital plays and stuff like that. I can't get on a lot of playlists that those guys create.
Right.
Because it's like they won't let me,
Right.
And it's been like that my entire career. And I know that. They know that I know that. This is nothing new. This is not news. So, we always have to find new ways to navigate around. They figure out how to, it's a club. They figure out how to shut me out in this way. And, I try to bob and weave, and we try to figure out how to go about it this way. They're making all their, money on clicks now and things of that nature. And we've had to figure out how to do that on a very mom and pop level. And we're hanging in there with them. I have like I said, I have the liberty with my own publishing company and my own record company to really just do what I want. My ego is something that I work on a lot. But I don't listen well, and but it served me well in this business so far. So I still have my limitations. I can't do some of the things, and ironically enough, some of these places that we can't get played or won't get on the playlist. I think last year I heard, or during this last tour cycle, there were 12 artists that were on some of these big playlists that I wasn't allowed to be on, that were actually looking for opening slots for me. Let that sink in.
Right. But that's kind of the deal, is almost like anything else, is like you try to regulate or hold something back, is if it's got forward momentum and going, you can do whatever you want to hold it back. You ain't gonna hold it back.
Right. So where they can really get me now is like on monthly listeners and things of that nature. I'm hovering around like 3 million Spotify listeners a month or so. And like there's kids that have never walked out on a stage that have 5 million. They're making, their record company making that clickbait money,
Right.
Those kids are never going to do anything. Some of them aren't, some of them are. But yeah, it's weird. It's a strange business, and we don't fight it. We try to, it's like, oh, that can help us. We can do that, or let's learn from that. And, we're watching what they're doing, but they're watching what we're doing even more.
But that's what's crazy, man, is like, okay, so they're getting 5 million or whatever, right? So you put them in a studio, or you put them in, whatever, and it's like, oh man, this is great. Listen to that. They've never been in the van. They've never packed their own gear. They've never done that sort of stuff, to where it's like, okay, now you put them in front of, 500 people or 5,000 or 50,000 people. It's like, what's your stage presence like? You know what I mean? To where that's different than when you get somebody that went from the grind of like, you're in some shithole bar and people are pissed that you're not whatever. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, then you turn the tide with those guys. Like, so I don't know, man. That's a catch-22, in my opinion.
You've been reading my old interviews because you just basically said verbatim what I've been saying for the last, like, since the Instagram and TikTok sensations came along. That's great, man. You just played a 30-second snippet of a song that you sounded really, really great singing that you didn't write.
Right.
Okay, cool. Well, here, back in my day, you'd be hustling gigs and it would be like 8 to 12. You have 3 breaks. They're 15 minutes long. So you better have 3 hours worth of music. 3 hours. Worth of songs ready to go. And you better be able to play in 5. And you better be able to play in front of 50 or 500. Now, if you can play in front of 5 people and keep their attention all night, 50 and 500 and 5,000, 50,000 is easy.
Easy to go.
So, like your TikTok video was cute. Let's go see how big your balls are.
Right. Can you turn it up? Yeah. Well, that was like, we went to Big Sky up there in Whitefish a few years back, and and like we're talking about the whole thing with the blend. My cousins that they got us the tickets, they're like, dude, Nathaniel Ratliff, and I'm like, who's Nathaniel Ratliff? And then it was Cody Jinks. I'm like, oh my god, like I'm gonna go see Cody Jinks in the same stage, same deal. And one of the cool things too is like when you're talking about reading a crowd, something that is hard is like when you go see an artist that you really like and you listen to their stuff, it's like, man, I hope that I want to hear some of the songs that I came here to hear, and not just like, hey, we'll play this one and then we'll, play a bunch of the new stuff. Mm-hmm. And like, dude, when I went and saw you live, I was like, oh my God, like it was all the songs I wanted to hear and that thing. And his people, I was like, and my cousins are like, who's this guy? I'm like, oh my God, it's a great song. And next thing you know, like, oh, this guy's badass. This is awesome. And so it goes back to that thing too, is like, man, you can tell the difference of the guys that have earned that spot. I'm like, I don't care if it's 5 million, if it's 10 million, whatever that number is, that's a number, man. But when you see a real person's response to something that's in front of them, that you can't put a number on that deal. Like that is, like we talked about earlier, like that's tapping into the soul. That's something that does not come with just like, I put a shit ton of videos out on YouTube and here's a bunch of likes. Like that's something that's learned and something that's earned.
Yeah, well, fortunately, I'd put out enough albums before YouTube was even a thing. Yeah, I think I'm just old. I think that I've just been doing it for so long now. But, first off, thank you. Secondly, I remember watching Nathaniel and the Night Sweats that night, and but that day, whatever, and holy shit, man,
that was wild.
Great show. They were great too. I got to hang out with them for a minute. But yeah, I mean, like thirdly, just go back, circle around. Man, I don't even know how many records I have out anymore. It's 10 or 11, I think, ish. We know that when we play every night, there's 17 or 18 songs that are the must plays.
Right.
Your Cast No Stones, your Hippies, your Davids, your Loud and Heavies, we know those 17 or 18 songs, and then we know, and we play a full 2 hour, man. We don't jack around. We don't take excessively long, encore or anything. We play, and we play a lot. We play usually about 28 to 30 songs a night. And so that gives us 5 to 6 that we just want to play, and that gives us maybe 5 or 6 old ones that we wanted to bring back and play, or cover or two, and then that 17 or 18 that we know we have to play. Hey, man, in this business, you hear me, give the kids what they want, man. Like,
right.
We took out Somewhere in the Middle one time. I was sick of playing that song, man, and I was grumpy, and I'd just gotten back out on the road. I had knee surgery 3 years ago, and we were somewhere in like North Carolina or whatever. And I told Josh, our bass player who makes our set list, I was like, dude, I don't want to play Somewhere in the Middle. We didn't play that one song that one night, and I got torched on social media, and I knew better, and Josh warned me about it. He's like, dude, we can't do that again. You got to, I was like, I know, dude, I will be singing that song gladly for the rest of my life. So it taught me a great lesson.
Yeah.
I know exactly what songs, like you said, that, you know, it's like, oh yeah, that one and that one is, it's just, I've been doing it for so long. You know, hopefully there's one or two off every record that resonate with everybody, and you get to play those one or two. Keep adding, you know, 1, 2, 3 songs off each record that, you know, hopefully every record's great. And going back to what you said, you know, making records and not just dropping singles, that's important, because we used to spend so much money on going and buying the records or the CDs that you're like, I hope this whole damn thing is good.
Right.
You know, so we aim to do that when we record records, but, you know, singles become singles for a reason. So, you know, hopefully we can get a couple of killer singles off every record, and then before you know it, you got 20 songs you got to play every night, man. That's a great place to be.
So, dude, with that, I mean, like, you're talking 2-hour sets, and then how many shows a week typically, like, when you're going?
Honed it way down, man. I'm older. We're older. I don't want to you know, say we got soft or anything, because by a lot of people's standards, we still play a lot. But, you know, we used to do 200 plus shows a year. Shows, not even on. I mean, like we were playing 205, 215 shows a year. We were living on the road. I met my kids when they were 10 and 7. I tell people, you know, sometimes after COVID hit. So we were just gone. And so, you know, 200 plus turned into 150, turned into 120, turned into 100, turned into 80, turned into 70. Next year, we go down to our first year of, I'm capping at 50 shows.
Right. Wow.
And they're booked.
Yeah.
For the most part. I can't tell anybody when or where or whatever, because I don't know. All I know is I give the dates I want to work, and they fill them. And it doesn't matter where they're at. They get me all over the U.S. and they tell me where I'm going whenever they get it all filled out. But I'm done. The band, for the most part, I mean, dude, we're sitting here at the end of October, and the band knows what they're going to be doing at the end of October next year. So that's a great feeling. We earned it. We never had that stability. We're road dogs, man. This isn't put together Nashville guys. These guys are dogs.
Right.
They're motherfuckers, every last one of them. So to have that now, especially, you know, having missed so much of our kids' lives, is really, really a great place to be. In 50 shows, that gets all the bills paid, and that makes a little bit of money. So, you know, I'm grateful.
So how I guess my question was on that, dude, is like, that's even 50 is a lot. Like, I mean, that's a number. Yeah. How do you keep from getting?
We're sitting there going 50. We're going to be so bored.
Yes. How do you keep from just getting, or what do you do when you're like in the middle of this thing or 2/3 through it and you're like, dude, I'm smoked? Like, I mean, how do you keep the band together and people from falling apart? Because that's, like you said, you're on the road. Everybody's got their own shit going on. And it's like, all right, dude, like we got to finish this. How do you keep from just being totally burnt out?
We're out there playing for each other, man. It sounds so cliche, but listen, there's 25 people on the road in 3 tour buses I'm responsible for. That's 25 sets of problems. That's a lot of them are married. Most of them are married with kids. 25 lives. We all have a job to do. We're all thankful to be there. We go to work.
Right.
We keep each other lifted up. Most of the people on my crew have been with me for a long time. Like the inner circle, the band and inner circle of the crew has been with me a long time through births and deaths and weddings and funerals. And it's a big, close family out there. So yeah, man, we're out there playing for each other, and we get burned out. We do. But we try not to. We don't book as many to get burned out anymore. You know, I don't sing any more than 3 times a week if I can help it. I'll start getting mental fatigue.
Right.
I'll start getting burned out. I sing hard. That's another thing. when you come to see us play, man, we're not playing to tracks. And if my voice fucks up, my voice fucks up. If it cracks because I'm singing my ass off. If somebody wanks a chord, it's because they're playing their ass off. If Dave misses something on the drums, it's because he's playing his ass off. You know, it's real, it's live, it's loud, it's fun. But we're 50 times a year is, I think, going to be a pretty good number for us moving forward.
Yeah, that's impressive too, because I mean, like you said, dude, playing for each other, that's great. But the energy that you have to expand each night on the stage, not just like the singing part, but like, you know, maybe whoever was before you didn't have a great show, and you've got to put all that much more out there to pick them up, is like, I just could not imagine the absolute drain that would have on. I mean, like you said, 200 is like shit. Like, I couldn't imagine it.
Well, you know, we run around up there, you know, it's I never understood the people that stand in front of me with the cell phone pointing at my crotch, because chances are you're not going to go home and watch 2 hours of basically from my crotch to my cowboy hat and maybe a little bit of Dave behind me.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, dude, there's 6 dudes up there other than me putting on a show. Like, they're all putting on their own show too. It's like, this isn't a let Cody shine situation. Like, they go and they're running around and they're out there jamming with each other. We have drum risers and everybody's running up and down the drum risers and jamming with Dave and Matt back there. And, you know, we're all over the place, man. And then after we're done, it's like, people like, golly, dude, you guys are all over the place. I'm like, dude, that's like a freaking 2-hour workout. Like, I just got my cardio in, man.
Right. Yeah, 100%. How does, and I know you're not going to totally let us out of the bag of all the stops, but how's Vegas playing in next year?
Oh, we're going to do Vegas next year.
Yeah.
You've been in Vegas the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that Vegas energy.
Yeah, we did 2 years at the Cosmo. I think that was at the Cosmo. I can't remember.
Yes, the Chelsea.
The Chelsea, thank you. Yeah, we stayed at the Cosmo. I'm 14. I haven't drank in 14 months, so I forget a lot from the last 25 years. But from where different. Like 4,000 shows or so, or 5,000 shows. So most of them,
blend together.
I was drunk too, man. So, I tell you what, man, Vegas has become kind of a cool thing that we didn't really mean for it to happen. It just kind of happened. And I love ending our year like that. And mostly because and playing the Dolby now, and big thanks to MGM, the Dolby, and I believe we're going to be out there next year as well to close out 25. And it's a great way for the band to close a year. We've had a great year this year. We get to close it out again. That may be the best sounding room I've ever played. There are certainly those in the band and crew that feel that way. And that's really saying something, because we played some pretty incredible places, but that room is just incredible, and they are so nice to us there and so kind, and they know that we just want to work. We want to show up and work hard and be nice, and we want to get invited back, man. Like, we're those guys. We're like, thank you. Hey, thank you for having us, sir. We hope we get enough people here for you to want to invite us back next year. So it's been a great relationship we've been able to start with them, but I love ending the year because we have all of our crew's family come out, the significant others, at least. This year, we're going to have children optional. Actually, we're going to have some of the people who are like, man, we just want to bring our kids. There's so much to do in Vegas now, so many shows to see. So we're kind of making it, I have 30 employees overall, and it's still one time of the year we're all in the same place together. And I get to see everybody, hug everybody, say thank you to everybody, see everybody's spouse, see everybody's kids that want to bring them. Just see the whole family. And everybody loves going to Vegas. So.
Right.
For those listening, he's playing Dolby Live December 6th and 7th. just in case you needed to buy some tickets last minute.
Thank you. Yeah, I knew it was in December. I was struggling on 6th or 7th and 7th and 8th. I couldn't remember.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But no, that's cool, dude. That's my kids are the same way as, everybody's like, dude, Vegas is no spot for kids. And for years, I've taken my kids out there ever since they were like little. And I was like, this place is like just as much fun for the kids as it is for the adults, damn near. So that's awesome, because I think that also, man, like you said, everybody's got their own stuff, all their own shit, but you make it to where like, yeah, shit, bring your family. Let's do it. I mean, that's a big punch in the arm of rejuvenation sometimes when you need it the most.
Yeah. And we do fun stuff. Like after the first night, I have band and crew, because we get to leave our shit on stage. So that's nice. So the band and crew, they set their stuff down, turn everything off. We're done till tomorrow. We have a pizza party after the first night in our room. They usually give us a pretty big one. So yeah, we'll have the whole band and crew over there, and we'll have some beers iced down and have 15 or 20 pizzas brought in and hang out, and people go gamble or go do whatever they do.
Nice. You said you were looping way back, working on a new album, getting ready to drop here before too long.
Dude, we have so much music. We have so much music to put out this next year. We're about to drop a Lefty Frizzell tribute record, and then we're doing a full length record next year. I don't know when exactly it's going to come out, but we were going to do some companion pieces, but I think we put kind of a hold on that. Because we record constantly. So it was really a situation where it dawned on me recently, we have so much that we have been sitting on. We have so much material. I was talking to my team the other day, my label head, Malia, and all of our managers that manage what we have, our operation. And I was like, guys, we have to start dropping music sooner than we thought. So I don't know when we're going to start dropping after the Lefty record. It's going to be next year. But in the next 2 years, I would say we have an insanely large amount of music to drop. But we keep recording. We're scheduled to record again in September. We're going back to the Sonic Ranch, where I've recorded 5 or 6 records. We had that many songs on hold. We started speaking of like all my songwriter buddies. We don't stop. So it's like, oh man, we got to start dropping stuff, keep writing stuff, keep recording stuff. So it's just, I think going to the 50 shows a year is going to really enable us to stay in the studio at least a couple times a year, go get our 50 shows done, be able to spend enough time with our families, drop music when we want to. Really everything now is about finding balance. And I think we're kind of all there. We're there as an organization. We're there in age. We're there with our families. We're there, with our band. It's balanced. Everything's balanced these days.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, Cody, I tell you what, man, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to visit with us, and very much looking forward to seeing you in Vegas, and equally as excited to hear the new record start dropping in 25, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you very much. Vegas is going to be a blast. It always is. Just a lot of music. I can't, it's more than an album. At least next year is even going to be more than an album. We're going to put a whole record out and then another something. I don't know. We got so much shit to drop. I'm telling my team, drop it. And they're like, we got a plan for it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. A lot of shows, music. Yeah. We're not slowing down. We're just playing a few less shows, man. We're still working.
That's awesome, man. Well, safe travels to you guys. Enjoy your time recording in the studio, and have a kick-ass rest of your year, man.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All the best to you guys, and sounds like maybe seeing y'all in Vegas.
Hell yeah.
Want to experience more of the NFR? Then visit NFRexperience.com. And we invite you to subscribe to NFR Extra on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you're listening right now. If you like what you've heard on NFR Extra, we would love it if you gave us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe.